Bum 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 yourself. Bum bum yourself. Welcome back, everybody, to Go Help Yourself, a comedy self-help podcast to make life suck less. I am one half of your guidepost cheerleader captains on this journey of self-help exploration, Lisa Linky. Our other co-host, co-captain, co-cheerleader, Captain Journey is not here today. She's not here. And the giggling voice on the other end, I will introduce you to in a minute, of our guest, very special guest presenter. But if you're new, welcome. Welcome. You're our tiny pocket friend, and we're very excited that you're here. This is a podcast where we read and review a popular self-help book each episode and talk about how we feel about it. We tell you the tips, the tricks, the yays, the boos, the ins and outs, the ups and downs. In under an hour, you'll know the main points of the book, and you'll really have a good sense of whether or not it's something that you want to invest your time, energy, and money and support the author. We're reading these books so you can go on enjoying your busy life while still getting the perspective-altering self-help advice that you've been craving or that someone has been craving for you. And I'm very excited because today is a special presenter, a special guest presenter. She's been on our show before, and we're very grateful to have had her, and she's returning. Longtime loyal listeners know her, and you will recognize her. She's the hilarious, the beautiful, the wonderful, the talented, my best friend, Sarah Maher. Sarah, welcome back.
I'm certain that everybody could hear me eating that cookie at the top.
Well, I'm confident that they
Call
in and let us know.
Is this a call-in show?
The lines are live. Sarah, I'm so excited that you're here. You are here for a book review. You're going to be presenting a book, and I'll tell our listeners in just a minute why. I'm seeing the book already. I'm going to tease it for them in just a second. We read books every Friday, and on Tuesdays, we have a follow-up episode lovingly called our Weekly Beef, where we do everything that's not books, but still in the realm of self-help. So trivia, thought-provoking questions, articles, interviews, things like that. And we have switched this year, moving our homework that we assign from the book to our Patreon. So if you are interested in supporting us and supporting the podcast and all the production of it, you can become a member of our community on Patreon. We've already had some amazing conversations. Sarah is a member of our Patreon community. Thank you so much for supporting us.
Excuse me, please respect my privacy.
That's right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Just
kidding. I'll shout it from the rooftops. I am a loyal.
She was our first patron. Thank you. Right. Thank you very much. Yeah.
And the content I've already gotten is fabulous.
Thank you.
But no one will know what it is unless they sign up. So
that's right. So our deep dive conversations where we go into the homework are very intimate and really vulnerable and funny. Still the same funny content, but also with a side of vulnerability. So that's our Patreon. You can check us out at patreon.com/gohelpyourself. And you can also check out our merch. And all of these links will be in show notes. Miss Sarah got some beautiful merch and supports it with pride. So does your daughter. Mm-hmm. She has a really, really cute sweatshirt.
Oh, yeah. We have like mommy-daughter GHY swag. We're repping. We're repping on the Third Coast.
Okay. So I'm a little discombobulated, but I'm plowing through. Sarah, you're one of a couple guest presenters coming up because Misty and I have been working like the devil through December and January. And also I've been deep in grief, as people know. I lost my dog, Zoe, who is a dear friend of yours and loved you dearly.
Oh, Zoe and I are tight.
Yes. Yes. I just realized that I am so porous right now in my grief. I cannot read a self-help book, especially the one that I'm in the midst of reading, which are really kind of challenging some core beliefs. So I just didn't have it in me. And so I reached out to my nearest and dearest, and you were on it in a heartbeat, and you are here to support me. And I say thank you.
I love that. It's
thank
so
you for
sweet
that.
Of you.
Yeah. So Misty and I are going to have a couple guest presenters, but we're still going to have content every week, and we're excited. So with all of that being said, setting the table, Sarah, what book are you bringing us today?
Oh, well, first of all, I have to say I'm really excited to be here. And I hope you and Misty are doing okay. I love you guys.
Yeah, thank
Take
you.
that out, editor. That was weird.
No, it was wonderful. Leave it in. Leave it in.
No. Too mushy for this podcast about feelings. Okay. So this is the book that we're going to be talking about today. It's Trixie and Katya's Guide to Modern Womanhood.
Okay, she's holding it up for me. And if you're not familiar with Trixie and Katya, they are some of the more successful drag queens from RuPaul's Drag Race. The book is gorgeous. It's like this dark maroon color, and in yellow it says Trixie and Katya's, and they're both beat to the gods.
Snatched.
They're snatched in the front.
Say.
And they're like best friends in real life. And Katya
fucking rotted in the back, snatched in the front, rotted in the back.
Katya is holding Trixie's beautiful fake breast on the front. This is amazing. Okay, so I'm going to ask you, Sarah, if you can summarize the premise of the book in one sentence, what would it be?
I would say that its personal style is a double-edged sword.
Mm-hmm.
And you get to choose. You know, which one makes you feel better? Doesn't matter. You choose.
Which edge of the sword you choose?
Yeah. Yeah. If you want to buy into all the like tropes and fantasies of womanhood, do it. And if it's not the type of like womanhood you want, fuck it.
I'm in love with this. Boo. I can't wait to hear more. Okay. Couple book prices. The hardcover, because it's new, it's less than a year old, is $23.92. Kindle is $13.99. The audio book on Libro or Libro FM, we still don't know, is $21 or $14.99 with membership. And it is 196 pages. So I feel like it's 196 pages of bliss.
Truly, it is.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about your first impressions or overall, like, is this book practical or woo-woo?
Okay, well, we have to really take a step back because I have to, recuse myself a little bit here.
Oh, that's right.
In that I am not reading this book as like someone who doesn't know Trixie and Katya. So like I watched their show on YouTube. I watched Like to Watch on Netflix. I watched their seasons on Drag Race, yada, yada, yada.
You're a super fan.
I'm a super fan. God, that's so
full
lame.
Disclosure, it's not, but like, because Trixie's your favorite, right?
She's just such a like Midwestern, middle-aged woman with a chip on her shoulder. I love her.
I relate.
I just love her.
So for Sarah's birthday last year, was it just last year?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I got a makeup artist to come and do drag on us, and you wanted to look like Trixie, and he did a great job.
Yeah, he did some drag on us for sure.
Yeah.
He did dragged all over us.
He did done dragged all over on us, yeah.
He spent 2 hours on me and I came out looking like a beautiful woman. So all of this is to say is that this book is great. It is fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Is it for the seasoned Trixie and Katya fan? I don't necessarily think so. Although I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. So who am I to say?
Maybe they're expanding their base, it sounds like.
Yes, it does feel like this is a great entry point for like someone new who just got into Drag Race and they're into them. Like this is a nice way to meet them. So I'm coming from that point of view. And
so it's not a tip. Well, it is a self-help book. I mean, in that sense that like it's a guide. Yes. But is it practical or is it woo-woo? Or is it its own genre?
It's practical. It's as practical as they come. So while it's a book, it's kind of laid out like a women's health magazine or like even like a teen Vogue.
Beautiful
like
design
that.
And layout inside.
But it's all like short essays and it's like quizzes and like how to get a guy type excerpts all over the place. So it's really colorful. It's really bright. I was interested in what other people thought about this. So I went on Goodreads and read a couple of reviews, which was hilarious. Please go read them. But one person said that the pictures are worth the price of admission. And I absolutely agree.
Wonderful,
they're beautiful,
art design,
full page, gorgeous photo shoots.
Great.
And they're beautiful women. So
great.
There you go. Yeah, but it's very practical. It's makeup. It's hair tips. It's what to do in a breakup. Those are 3. I think the actual chapters are like, and you flip through it, like this is something that you would put on a coffee table and like someone would pick it up at a party. They would read like hang art at eye level and it's 1 paragraph about it. And it's hilarious. Like this is what you just leave out.
It's episodic in nature, like a serial, 100%. A procedural. You don't have to read it front to back. You can pop in at your leisure, per se.
It's made for flipping. I mean, I read it cover to cover and enjoyed it, but it's made for flipping.
Made for flipping, and that's just what I'll do. One of these days, this book is gonna flip all over. When I was younger, I would listen to my mom sit around with her best friends at a table and break into song. And I would be like, that's so dumb. And now I do it and I love it. It's us.
Look at us now. Hey, this is us. Okay. So Trixie and Katya's Guide to Modern Womanhood. Let's open this up. Oh my God. I had some really profound thoughts. So this is what I did. First of all, I treated this like it was a textbook. As you can see, I wrote all over it.
She has really taken diligent notes and folded down pages.
And dog-eared pages, wrote all over it, this beautiful book, because I thought about it and I was like, you know what? It's my copy and I'm going to flip through it all the time. So I might as well write all over it like I'm
it's your guide to modern womanhood.
In 1993 and I'm just like doodling in my magazine. Why not?
I love that.
Landline strung around your finger. Get into it.
Okay, so can you tell us a little bit, like how is it broken up? What are there chapters okay. Or?
Here we go. I'm gonna blind you with this. 3 parts. Of the 3 parts, well, 1 is beauty and style.
Thank you.
Part 2 is homemaking, and part 3 is relationships. But the reality is that like these are stories. They threw a bunch of stories in and then categorized them.
Okay.
But here's the thing about these 2 is that they create so much good content that like you can just take a bunch of shit that they say and throw it into a book, categorize it and theme it. So, because they like to talk about the same things all the time, which is usually beauty and sex and then just like absurdity.
And they giggle a lot. So if you've ever seen their YouTube show, it's them sitting on stools, giggling and like talking with one another. So what is their writing style like? Are they each writing individually or are they kind of talking together?
Great question. So it's a mix of the 2. It's essays, short essays by each. And then there's like 3 or 4 points in the book where they just do an interview style subject of them talking together.
That's kind of nice. So if you are a fan, you can hear it in their voice.
Oh, absolutely. And so I don't know if they used ghostwriters. I honestly, I didn't look it up because I want to believe that they wrote this.
You're going to molder this one. You want to believe? I'm with you.
It's like drag. Like the fantasy is that we are pretending that this is a woman. Yeah. I am going to pretend that they wrote this. Like they sat down at their little breakfast table and wrote this. So you can feel their different voices in this really well. So if they did have a ghostwriter, those ghostwriters are really good. Fabulous.
Yeah.
They're real good. So I think what I want to do as we go through this is kind of skip rocks on a pond here because there's so much content that it's like, let's just hit it like a magazine. So basically what it will turn into is me just reading you the parts I liked.
I'm here for that. And then I will probably ask some follow-up questions on the stuff that you're reading, and maybe we'll have some conversations about it as we go too. But I'm here for it. I'm just so excited you're here and so grateful. Thank you.
Oh my God. I love to be here. I didn't hear a word that you just said though, because I was looking at the book. So if I need to know anything, you let me know.
Nope, not a thing. Nothing I added was of value.
Okay. So like I'm looking at my, the things that I underlined and like it's something that just caught my eye. Patrick Stewart as a gay farmer. Beauty is a lovely thing to possess, like dual citizenship or a will to live. Oh my God. Okay. So this is Trixie talking about his younger sister who he's very disappointed in because of the way she styles herself. And he says, she was a corrupted natural beauty. She is a Weston presenting as an airport Howard Johnson, and I cry every night about it. Maybe living in the shadow of my beauty and fame has impaired her. I mean,
That's
like,
amazing.
it's this, and it's breakneck pace. It's like one after the other, after the other. Like, as a woman with ADHD, this shit hits the spot. These two are crazy as fuck. And literally, I'm looking at 2 pages and they've covered like 14 different topics.
Well, it sounds like just being in the room with them. I guess here's a question that's on maybe a little bit of a deeper level. What do they have to say about beauty, and that, their presentation in drag is such a heightened kind of extreme form of beauty, right? Like and it's artificial in a sense. That's the fun of drag, right? Like, it's so extreme. So is it a little tongue in cheek? Is there a little satire? Like, what do I, as a woman who rarely puts on makeup, what can I take? Like, what is the value that I can take from this?
Oh, interesting. Okay. So so very quickly, in terms of their aesthetic, the interesting thing is that Katya is kind of the most classically looking like a female when she puts on drag. But she was the first to say, like, she doesn't know anything about makeup, yada, yada, yada. Mm-hmm. Trixie looks like a clown. Like, her eyebrows are up by her, like, the top of her cranium. I mean, she looks insane.
Her eyelashes block out her eyes. Like, you don't know where her eyes are because her eyelashes she has like 2 sets of eyelashes on. It's amazing.
Truly. As a side note, it is very fun because she wears 20 sets or 10 sets of eyelashes every time she puts on, 8 on each lid on top and 2 on the bottom lid. And it is a little fun in their show. If she gets them off by a millimeter, girl, it's 2 fans going north and south. And it's so funny. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, but the funny thing is that Trixie actually started in the makeup industry. She worked at MAC for a bunch of years, and she loves makeup. Like, that is clearly one of her passions. And then she started a makeup line herself. It looks like it's been like incredibly successful.
So they come from 2 really different ends of the spectrum in terms of learning how to do makeup.
Yeah. And just like this idea of aesthetic and beauty, and who are they to say anything about womanhood? I think there is something here about makeup and hair that, drag queens and women have in common. So I think they absolutely have a leg to stand on if they want to talk about womanhood, I guess.
Yeah. And I definitely don't want it to sound like they don't have any standing. I guess it's really more,
I said that.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're men.
Right.
Did I forget to say that?
No, they're drag queens. But what I was saying, I hope my question didn't come across that way. But also, is it a little tongue in cheek because the way they do makeup is how you and I would never do makeup, right? Like, so what can we garnish? Yeah. I guess what can I garner? Is that what can I garner from that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, or what can I garnish?
What can you garnish?
What is the parsley that I can put on the plate?
What's the parsley of the situation? I mean, I think the whole book is the parsley. Really?
Okay. I love it.
It's just pretty. It's just pretty on the side of the plate. And it's kind of like, that was
nice. Did you learn any makeup tips while you were reading the makeup section?
I did. In fact,
tell me one.
There's a foundation. I mean, it's, I think, the only recommendation that's really made in here, which is like a foundation that Trixie talked about that she uses for her day wear, her menswear. I'm going to wear it I'm going to try it for my women's, nightwear out on the town because that's how much makeup I wear these days.
Same.
Okay. So the first part is the part about beauty. And the first essay is from Katya. And it's about hair. Okay. And it asks the most important question that any woman asks herself a few times in their life is, should I get bangs? And that's right. And you're laughing because you and I have had a conversation for about a decade now about bangs. And because this is how I remember it. You had said, I'm thinking about, or no, I said you should try bangs. And you said, I can't do bangs. I can't do it, blah, blah, blah. I was like, yes, you can. Yes, you can. Then I learned that you truly cannot style hair. And it's not that you can't, it's that you're like, I'm not going to. And
and also I can't. I'm hair dumb. I cannot work a curling iron for fun. You make me, for a while, you would make me pick up an unplugged hair curling iron and would ask me to like, how would you try to do this? And just watching me try to figure out which way the barrel would go made you laugh and laugh and laugh and laugh. Or you would ask me to try to braid my hair.
It was like when E.T. was wearing that dumbass hat. I mean, it's like so fun. It's my favorite time of the year. It's my Christmas.
It's a good time.
So I did say at one point, I take it back. Now that I realize how bad you are at hair, you're too dumb for bangs.
That's right.
And that's what.
And my stylist did confirm this.
But you're too dumb. You cannot.
I cannot do bangs. And that's not a mean way. It's really, truly like, this is not in my skill set. It's not in my best interests.
That's right. You know, there's like a reason
some
that
people can't drive
tests.
stick. That's right.
Yeah. Some people are just, math isn't their thing.
No. Hair is not my thing.
It's not your thing. But that's okay. So anyway, they talk about, should I get bangs? And so I honestly don't want to give it away so much because if people do want to read it, it's fun. It's like, what do these different hairstyles say about you? And how do you learn, what does long and layered say about you?
That's me, long and layered. Although my layers have grown out.
Perhaps you are getting older and are unable to afford expensive Botox treatments to smooth out those ever-deepening lines and wrinkles on your forehead. Or maybe you are somehow unwilling to inject nerve-paralyzing toxic chemicals into your face for the sake of vanity. Or, more likely, is there a large hideous scar of a Celtic rune carved into your forehead by the deranged leader of a neo-pagan cult that you recently escaped so that you just don't want to talk about anymore? This is the book, girl.
Oh, I like that.
I did have a hard time on page 19. There is a haircut called Can I Speak to the Manager? And I'm going to go ahead and let you know that it had my number. It had my number in look and then in description. And I said, I see myself. And there are many times in this book where I say, I see myself. And I don't like what I see, but I think it's important that I see it.
Okay. And are you going to take any action from that?
I think I've come to peace with the fact that I am my truest self with a bitchy haircut. So I really leaned into that.
I just love
And so I think, hello.
Sarah, my best friend makes me laugh and fart all the time. Leave it in. Fuck it. Leave it in. All right.
Leave it in. Okay. Oh, God, girl, I have a story to tell you off camera. What is this?
Well, we're Zooming,
podcast?
But yeah.
Radio?
Yeah.
Okay, we have a caller. So here's one thing that I really like. So then we come out of the gate with Trixie, and she's talking about makeup first. And it's kind of like she's coming out of the gate with her, big thing. Her big things are, she's a musician, namely country folk background, although she's getting into pop and it's super fun. So I like that she comes out with makeup because her things are music, makeup, drag, comedy, obviously, but this is the comedy. Anyway, so she comes out and there's a fun, quick thing on the second page of this chapter, which is the mirror has two faces. Who are you? And and it's just this thing about how, what inspiration she pulls from, and some of the things she pulls from are Audrey from Little Shop of Horrors, Dolly Parton, Barbie and Skipper, Elvira, Hedwig, My Little Pony. It's great. So
this feels like a peek behind the curtain.
Yeah.
To the two of them, and also just getting to spend as much time as you want with them, as long as you want in the book.
Yeah. So this book is they both feel like you're kind of kibitzing with your best girlfriends.
Yeah.
Or people like to think that these would be their best girlfriends.
Yeah.
And they are, in a fun, weird way. But yeah, it's more of that. It's that warm, bubbly, mile-a-minute bullshit. I love it. It's just, mwah, from So here's a quick paragraph that I loved.
Okay.
And it was on foundation.
Thank you.
This is foundation. And what Trixie is talking about is when she works at the MAC counter, so many people would want to learn how to cover up their skin instead of just take care of it, and then they wouldn't have to cover it up as much.
Yeah.
Which, I know some people have feelings about that. So this is from Foundation. I found that people were more interested in skin camouflage than skin care. That's like stockpiling the morning after pill instead of pursuing contraception. After enough trips down the stairs and the family room after a missed period, you start to realize that an uncomfortable chat with mom could have kept your feet on the ground and your ankles in the air.
Oh,
I know. Don't you clutch your damn pearls? I love it.
She is funny.
There is another thing that they do throughout the book, and this is something they also do in their show, where they'll say series of words, and then they'll say, like, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage, blah, 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 blah. It's exactly what we used to do with improv team names, or my Herald improv team.
Yes.
So, like, there's one here. He says, I think everyone assumed I had unaddressed rosacea. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage, unaddressed rosacea.
Yes. Oh, like your official drag name.
Fun. Yes.
Yeah. Whenever there's like a lovely pair of words together, that will be my new drag name or my new DJ name or my new Herald team, which is an improv team.
So then we move on to Trixie's essay on heels. And it's like, here are the heels. And what type of...
is this in the next section in fashion, or is this...
Yes, fashion.
Okay.
Beauty and style.
So
it's about shoes, and it's like the premise is your foot a slut. And then if you wear certain shoes, your foot is a whatever type of slut. And that's accurate. So we're going to keep moving. But, oh my God. Once again, I think there were 3 times when I saw myself in the book. Here's number 2. And this one got me.
Okay.
And this is going to sound like a massive humble brag when I read it, because it's like, she was beautiful. But like,
okay,
stick with me. Okay, so we're talking, peep toes, stilettos, cutout heels, kitten heels, cone heels. And then we get to wedges. Okay. Wedges. There was a girl named Nicole in my high school who had death-defying tan and loved white wedges. She wore frosty blue eyeshadow to algebra and had an acrylic French tip pedicure. She also listened to aggressive rap music, which is such a great look for a white teen in rural Wisconsin. I imagine today she is clocking in late for work at a vape shop in the mall. Whatever happened to her, I thought her pedicure and a stacked wedge was the height of seduction. Wedges are maximum height, maximum comfort, maximum prostitute. I'm going to tell you something. In 1997, I was fucking hot. And I had ice blue
eyeshadow.
Cream. No, bitch. Eyeliner. You line it with a cream ice blue liner.
Okay.
And then probably a brown lip pencil. And, well, no, I didn't do the brown lip pencil. Too much tanning, way too much tanning.
Yeah.
And that fucking white wedge. And you can tell me nothing when I was wearing my white wedge.
I remember early 2000s Steve Madden wedge flips. Thwap, all throughout the office. Everybody on my floor must have hated me because they knew every time I went to the bathroom. Thwap. Yep. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, girl. Yes.
I love that you saw yourself in this book.
Oh, girl. I'm all over this thing. So then we get to the point where we have our first, chat about personal style. It's called Personal Style. Who the fuck are you? And it's fun. It's super fun. But there's this great section here where they talk to Katya about what she was kind of trying on when she was trying drag. And, she was going for Russian horror a little bit. And then she would go into performance art clown. And then they start having a conversation about a picture of Katya from a long time ago where she was trying on a character. And I'm going to go ahead and show you the picture. And for folks at home, you're going to have to.
Okay. I'm going to describe it for you. Katya is wearing a 70s paisley bodysuit with men and women, the universal signs for men and women. And her hair is bundled up. And she also is wearing these polka dot stilettos. But what's most important, what I haven't gotten to yet.
Look at those crazy ass eyes.
Yeah, her eyes are like all over the place, but she's laying on her side. But then she's like bent down between her legs, and one leg is behind her head, and the other one is turned backwards. It looks like she broke her leg.
She's a pretzel.
It looks like an acrobat at Cirque du Soleil is what it looks like, but in a weird, twisted 1970s kitsch vibe.
Fun fact: she comes from a karate family. There's a part in here talking about washing your legs, which I thought was very funny because nobody knows that you should wash your legs, apparently.
No white people do.
Yeah, no white people know it. So we get into alcohol and drugs. Okay. And one thing to note here is
this still in fashion and beauty, or is this into lifestyle?
This is still fashion and beauty. So the first one is huge and the last two are tiny.
Oh, okay.
It's like,
well, they have a lot to say about makeup and hair.
Yes.
Yeah.
I also kind of think it's like a bit like it feels like a bit of a joke, like a meta joke of like everything being upfront and then just like these two. Oh yeah, and by the way, I have a personality. Okay, bye. Yeah. So to note here, Katya is in recovery, and she famously says, like, if you give me a glass of wine right now, I'll be smoking crack in 3 days. So like she can be addicted to everything.
Okay.
Anything and everything. And it is pretty funny. She drops like a lot of AA stuff
in the book.
Really casually, very, very casually. Yeah. She's not like, championing AA.
Is
like,
Trixie
there's
in
just
recovery
little things
too?
she says. No,
okay.
No. Trixie just bought a bar in Milwaukee called This Is It, or she's like a co-owner because it was going to go under. It's one of these places that was like a queer space in Milwaukee that was very close and dear to the gay community. It was going to go under, and she
bought it.
Then we get to alcohol. So Trixie does alcohol. Trixie writes about it.
Yeah.
And like right in the middle, there's a recipe for drinks, just like a magazine. I love it. It's cute. It's kitschy. It makes me happy. I'm going to make that drink. Oh God. Yeah. The pop culture references in here, just like pinging a mile a minute or so fun.
Are they current or are they like, will they be out of date in like a year?
That's so funny because the reason I said it is I would just pass by a fun Midsommar reference when she was talking about gin. So here we go. Gin is completely misunderstood. Gin and tonic is usually my drink of choice. I love it. It's light, bright, and difficult to mess up. I can already hear you saying, it tastes like pine needles. It really doesn't. Gin is distilled with juniper berries and flowers. When you imagine those flavors as you take a sip, the sweetness pops out. I promise. It makes me think of wearing a floral crown while watching my unfaithful lover burn to death in the corpse of a dead bear. I mean, just the ease with which we tie in a Midsommar reference. That won't age well, but it doesn't matter because like Trixie truly has the comedic stylings of a 45-year-old white woman from rural Wisconsin.
Yeah.
In terms of her references. She referenced the show Sisters.
Oh, I loved that show.
I loved Sisters. Why was I watching it in junior high? I don't know.
Celia Ward. Who else? All I remember is Celia Ward.
Swinson. Not Tilda Swinson. Swoozie
Kurtz. And Taylor Swinson, who's Taylor Swift's lesser known cousin.
Oh my God. Okay. All right. And so then Katya talks about drugs and it's fun. But then, we do get a couple of just little AA things, but she doesn't say they're from AA. She'll be like, somebody said, or this one, there's a great saying, self-esteem comes from doing esteemable acts. So then Katya gets into self-love. And actually that quote was from her self-love chapter.
Okay.
And throughout the book, there are like, again, it's mile a minute references that are going to not age well. It's, just like pearl clutching jokes. But then there are like little nuggets of wisdom that are really good and they really stick. I do believe that like ideas about life or things like that stick when they're sandwiched in between comedy. They get a little stickier.
It makes the medicine go down for sure.
For sure, yeah. So this is in Self-Love. So just like in any marriage, friendship, or prolonged hostage situation, our relationship with numero uno will be fraught with moments where we are dissatisfied, annoyed, repulsed, or just plain hate the fucking guts of our dear life partner, aka ourselves.
Yeah. I was just talking about that today, about how we're not really taught that,
Mm-hmm.
And it's really, I feel like if my depressive episodes in my mid-20s and early 30s would have been different, if somebody would have said to me, there will be large swaths of time where you are unhappy, and that's part of life. Like, and especially for you having depression in your family, like that's going to be part of it, but nothing's wrong with you. Nothing is, like that's just kind of it.
Yeah, absolutely. In such inevitable periods of floundering self-worth, I find it helpful to imagine that I have severely developmentally disabled, quadriplegic, radiation-poisoned dog named Tabitha. I certainly wouldn't berate her for hours and hours about all the goals she has yet to accomplish, nor would I ever viciously mock her mangy fur or mercilessly bully her about her lack of ambition, her laziness, or her poor decision-making skills and chronic tardiness. After all, she can't even read a clock. And like, it's kind of like sometimes I need the message to be sent that way.
Okay, yeah.
To tell myself, like, don't beat yourself. You wouldn't beat this person up.
Yeah.
Why would you beat this person up?
Yeah. I like that. Of course, I'm still worried about Tabitha, and I know she's not real because that's how my brain works.
She ain't real, girl.
I know.
Oh my God, you're so funny. Okay. This is great. We get a quiz. Okay. In the middle of self-love. From self-loathing to self-loving. Answer these questions either true or false to determine the amount or lack of passion you've got for yours truly.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
You're going to take a quiz.
I'm ready. Do I need to write down my answers?
No.
Okay.
I fantasize about my death a lot.
Oh, false.
I have a hard time deciding what to eat for lunch because the voices tell me I'm not worthy of nourishment.
False.
Great. I didn't ask to be the most beautiful person alive. It just happened.
False.
True. Most days I want what's best for myself, but society won't let me wiggle. True.
False.
Okay. I tend to avoid mirrors because I am way too aroused by my own reflection.
False.
True. I actually love mirrors because every time I check my reflection, someone different is looking back.
False.
True. I believe everything will work out in the end as long as my legs don't get too wet. True. I draw strength from the fact that God has chosen me alone to help thwart the devil's master plan for Armageddon.
Wait, what?
Okay, moving on. Sleeping is a luxury that my wicked body does not deserve.
False.
False too. You go, girl. It me. No, not. Does not say it me. I'm me, and I'm here, and I want that.
True.
True. Yeah, I like that. That was fun.
That's a great quiz. I should write quizzes like that.
And then there's a full page, like beautiful.
Yeah.
And you had to turn it on its side to see this picture of Katya.
Katya is smack dab between two mannequins. They're all wearing sequins and blonde hair.
They're all wearing the same dress.
Oh,
and the same wig.
I understand. Yes.
Yes. So I kept going through and I'd be like, oh my God, this is a nugget of wisdom. This is a nugget of wisdom. And I started abbreviating it to NOW. So now all over the book are NOWs. Now. This one is very good. Okay. So we get to self-love and of course we start talking about jerking off. Of course.
Sure.
So this is good advice. Okay. Make sure you have all the props and toys and tools that you need to arrive at the peak of Mount Orgasm. And when shopping for sex toys and treats, don't be afraid to splurge. Just as cheap toilet paper is not a bargain, the same goes for erotic accoutrement. If something is going in your ass, mouth, or then it better be top shelf. And in the spirit of self-care, that's a rule you should really apply across the board.
Oh,
and I agree.
I like that.
don't put anything in any hole that you wouldn't put in your mouth.
That's smart. That's smart. Yeah. I like that.
I would say that the section on self-love from Katya might be the climax of the book for me. It's a long chapter. It's really good. It's got a lot of fun little quizzes and yada, yada, yada.
But it sounds like even though it's like built like a magazine, it's fun, it's fast paced, there is still underneath the fun and the funny and the, jokes is this message of you have to love yourself.
Oh, absolutely. And then there's like practical stuff. Like we get into money and it's like, there's 5 things for money. And it's like, explore financial domination, save all your change. And you're like, okay, this is just bullshit. And then it's like, build up a 3-month emergency fund. And it's like, yeah,
that's actually,
you should do that.
Yeah.
Let go of the fear of financial insecurity. Absolutely.
Once you have a 3-month emergency fund, it's a lot easier.
So yeah, I mean, there's stuff in here. This one is about social media and stuff. No phone in the bed ever. Like it's all really good advice.
Yeah.
Good advice.
They've kind of sandwiched it in there.
Yeah, it's nice. So they get into interior design, which is super fun.
And that's your jam.
And Trixie
Sarah
says,
has amazing interior design sense.
You're very sweet. So she just says, you should find a way to decorate your home that supports you instead of competes with you. Like, damn, that is big food for thought.
Yeah. Just so our listeners know, I'm looking at Sarah. She's sitting in front of her living room wall, which she has recently redecorated into an amazing plant wall. And it's so gorgeous. The plants are loving these little white containers that are wall mounted, and they're just like thriving, and it looks amazing.
Thank you so much. It truly is like having a part-time job with these plants. But here's the thing. We're in the choir, baby. We're in the choir pandy.
That's right.
I'm fine with it.
That's right.
And here's the thing. I might get used to it, and then it'll just become part of my thing.
Yeah.
Honestly, every morning getting up and checking all my plants and then spritzing a few, turning on music after breakfast is really fucking nice way to start the day.
I also just think
I didn't expect it.
You're probably not going to be back in a 9-to-5 for quite some time. So I think these plants have a good long while and by that I mean like office 9-to-5.
Yeah. Here's the third time. The third and final time that I am seen in the book.
Let me hear it.
And of course it comes in the interior design section. Mm-hmm. And it's called, and I think this is really going to hit you in the heart because we have this conversation 3 to 4 times a year for the last 15 years. Mm-hmm. Decluttering Your Condo, Marie, by Trixie. The only thing I love more than collecting tons of bizarre, useless, decorative objects is throwing them in the garbage when their charm has worn off. Whether it's a good old spring cleaning in the garage or a much-needed purge of your sycophantic entourage, the process of decluttering can be tough, but ultimately it's exhilarating. My mother has always been my role model in this department, especially in our home growing up, as we all had a tendency to acquire lots of shit. Weekly purges would occur unannounced, and anything and everything you might have left around the kitchen or the living room was likely to be chucked in the bin. I share a similar attitude, and I take great pleasure in clearing out unnecessary debris. Although with drag, it can be particularly difficult. I love nothing more than throwing things away.
It's true.
It gives me a lift and an ease. It makes me feel alive.
Yeah.
It makes me feel alive to throw things away.
Yeah.
And I know it's wrong. But so is murder, and I do that. So.
Well, it's not wrong to throw things away, but you are aware that the life of that item doesn't end when you put it in the garbage can.
Yes, Lisa, I know that.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's not wrong to throw things. Do
we want to have this conversation?
This is the conversation we have because I remember once, right after Marie Kondo came out, Sarah was like, I'm Marie Kondoing my kitchen. And I was like, well, what are you doing about these things? And she looked at me and then she just went, I'm taking them to the Salvation Army. And I went, Yeah, it was a moment. It was a moment.
As I'm standing by 16 full trash bags.
That's exactly right. She was like, stay here. I'm going to go run an errand in the alley. Oh.
Okay, but here's the thing.
Okay.
That fucking book truly did change my life. And the things that I did in the purging of that, like, whatever you call condoing or whatever, I still reap the benefits of that to this day.
That's great.
Still. It's amazing. I'm not saying it was right for me to throw everything away, but damn, did I have a good time. And then, okay, so part 3 is the last one. And look, it's relationships. And it's like,
okay, I'm going to say it looks like it's about 10 pages long. It is very tongue-in-cheek that they're like, write what you know. Hair and makeup, fashion and beauty, relationships.
Nothing. But they do both have fun relationships. Yeah, they're great. Although here's one thing that they did get wrong. And I wrote at the top, okay, they are men. Because they go on this rant about how, like, it's weird that people say, this is my best friend. They're like, if you're over 30 or 40 or something, and you're like, this is my best friend, you're weird. And I'm like, no. I'm like, okay, you're men, first of all. Because, like, people love doing that shit, and it's funny, and it's cute, and so...
Bitch, if you're a drag queen and you call someone your Judy, everybody gets it. That's not weird.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. That's a good point.
Let's write
Fuck
them.
those guys.
We're bringing them in.
Let's
Producer, bring them in.
Oh, may I speak to the manager haircut?
Thank you.
And that's honestly, girl, that's pretty much it. And so this is chock full of fun.
Yeah.
It is I think it's an incredible gift.
Yes.
I think it's an incredible coffee table book. I think it's an incredible book to read from cover to cover. It's just fun.
I love it.
And I'll be really honest, during the Quar Pandy, I can't focus.
Yeah.
Like I have a hard time focusing, and I honestly haven't read much of anything.
I'm so grateful that you did. Let me ask you a few questions of this amazing review. And of course, all the links to everything will be in show notes if you want to buy the book and check out their website and more. Okay. Sarah, did this book need to be written?
Yeah. I mean, we always need a little more laughter in our lines.
Yeah. And I'm going to say it's nice to have some diversity in authors. It's not just two heterosexual white men, right? It's some diversity of thought. That's wonderful. What did you try to put into practice from this book, and how did it affect you? Or if anything?
I mean, honestly, the most practical one is I'm going to go get that concealer.
There you go.
But I think there is just a really good... I think the makeup section from Trixie is really good because she does, it's not just like, hey girl, beauty's inside of you, but here are 25 tips to, be attractive. She does just kind of say like makeup, see, I'm not going to give her justice about like her feelings about makeup, but she really does a thoughtful job of conveying that makeup is about something for you. Okay. And like it lives within a microcosm of your world only, and it's only for you. And like, and if you want to look cute at home, wherever, like just do it. And honestly, and then if you don't do it. No one, like, it's okay.
No one cares. I love that. Do you feel that they missed anything? Like, was there something you expected in the book?
No. Okay. I mean, they do what they do well. Mm-hmm. Like they've got a thing. They've got a really great relationship, and they make good content together. And this is more of the same.
I love it. Who would you buy this book for, and who would you never buy it for?
I would buy it for like a coworker that also likes drag.
Yeah.
I would buy it for a friend. It's a great Christmas gift, birthday gift. Like, yeah, this one is one that I would buy a bunch.
Who would you never buy this for?
My grandmother.
Perfect.
Although she would probably actually find some of it very funny. Yeah, it's pop culture. It's tongue in cheek. Yeah. I'm not going to get it for like my buddy that isn't into pop culture. Yeah. I'm not going to get it for the jock in my life.
Well, maybe they need to know how to do better hair. Maybe they'd like to wear concealer. Do you have a listener challenge? Do you have any homework for me or the listeners to do for the next week and for our deep dive? It's totally fine if you don't.
I don't. I honestly, other than read the book, because I don't want to give away some of the really nice pieces of advice around self-love stuff and the body image stuff.
Yeah.
So
this is a huge recommend then.
I guess go read the book.
Yeah.
It's so fun. It's so fun. It's so light. It's easy breezy.
Sarah, thank you so much. I love you, obviously, and I love spending time with you, but I love sharing you with our tiny pocket friends because you're the best.
Oh my God, you're the best. Thanks for having me. This is fun.
Isn't it? I wish we were in the same city, but it is what it is. And that's it. Okay, all the links are going to be in show notes. Sarah, thank you so much. Misty, we miss you.
Lisa, thank you. And may I say, you have a wonderful, wonderful skincare regimen.
You know what? Thank you.
You don't have to spackle that shit because you're taking care of it.
Thank you. I haven't been doing as good as I can in the pandy, but I would like to. That's one of the things I'd like to do a little bit better on, is wash my face at least once a day.
Hey, we all know you are a natural woman.
Okay, thank you. And with that, life is abundant. Oh, now I'm going to watch Drag Race again. Bye. Go Help Yourself was produced by Misty Stinnett and Lisa Linky. Our theme song was written by the inimitable Matt Sav.
Inimitable. There's nothing we love more than hearing from you. Email us at gohelpyourselfpodcast@gmail.com. We're also at Go Help Yourself Podcast on Instagram and at GHY Podcast on Twitter.
And you can go old school and check out our website at gohelpyourselfpodcast.com.
It basically is a fancy PowerPoint slide. If you liked our podcast, please subscribe, rate, and review because it helps other people find our show.
You know who else needs to find it? Your friends. Tell all of your friends.
Okay, thanks. Bye.